I've not uploaded for a while. I've just stood here thinking, well, I'm going to do a quick video using this Gemini AI thing. I've asked it some questions. If people have been taught something as true for multiple generations, but it was false, and they didn't know it was false, how would that affect their understanding? That's a really interesting question that delves into the nature of knowledge, belief, and cognitive frameworks. If a falsehood has been taught as true for multiple generations without people knowing it's false, it would have a profound and pervasive effect on their understanding. Foundation of knowledge. The falsehood becomes a foundational building block of their understanding of that specific area and potentially related areas. It's like building a house on a faulty foundation. Everything built upon it will be skewed or unstable. Worldview and reality. Their entire worldview, or at least the part of it connected to the falsehood, would be based on this incorrect premise. Their understanding of how things work, cause and effect, history, science, society, or even their own identity could be fundamentally different from reality. Interpretation of new information. New information would be interpreted through the lens of this accepted truth. Evidence that contradicts the falsehood might be dismissed, misinterpreted, or actively resisted because it doesn't fit the established framework. This is related to the cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias. Decision making. Decisions made based on this falsehood or this false understanding could lead to ineffective, harmful, or illogical outcomes because the underlying assumptions are incorrect. Trust and authority. Trust is placed in the source that taught this truth. Parents, teachers, leaders, institutions. Discovering the falsehood can lead to a deep crisis of trust in these authorities and potentially in the very process of learning. Well, not with me. It spurred me on to learn even more. Cultural and social fabric. If the falsehood is deeply embedded in cultural practices, traditions, rituals, or social norms, it shapes collective identity and social interactions. Challenging it can disrupt social cohesion and create conflict. Difficulty in unlearning and relearning. It is often much harder to unlearn something deeply ingrained than to learn something new. Changing the long-held foundational belief requires significant cognitive effort, emotional processing, and often a dismantling and rebuilding of understanding. Sense of self and identity. If the falsehood relates to personal history, group identity, or core values, discovering it can be profoundly unsettling and challenge an individual's sense of who they are and where they come from. So in essence, living with a deeply ingrained generational falsehood means living in a version of reality that is in that specific aspect not real. Their understanding isn't just missing information, it's actively built upon misinformation, which affects how they perceive, reason about, and interact with the world. The impact is not just on intellectual knowledge, but on their foundational orientation towards reality. I'm going to do another quick video in a minute on the next question that I asked. Okay, so would that cause individuals to interpret visual phenomena and data to fit that falsehood? That's the next one. Thank you.